going on, everybody? UCF Jaguar back with JinJag.com, and this Sunday, Week 15, the 9-4 Jaguars are going to be hosting the 4-9 Texans as they hobble into Jacksonville to have our 5th divisional game of the year. Jaguars looking to sweep the Texans, and not only sweep the Texans, but we are looking to clinch a playoff spot for the first time since 2007. So there was a lot at line this game, so let's go ahead and preview this matchup.
It's a foot race. Robinson and Browner, and it's Robinson who wins it. Touchdown, Jacksonville. His 14th win. Bortles with top, looking deep for Robinson.
So when I say the Texans are hobbling into this game, it's a true fact. I mean, their whole season was derailed by injury, and it's a shame for them because they could actually be a pretty decent team, I think, if they had their injuries pretty much settled. I mean, if you look at Bill O'Brien, I mean, he's been able to win the AFC South and have success with like multiple just mediocre quarterbacks. You look at some of the guys that they've either put on the IR or either missed significant time. You know, you have Clowney, J.J. Watt, obviously Deshaun Watson, who was lighting up the NFL. He tore his ACL, so he got put on the IR for the year. They've been missing Cushing, Deontay Foreman, Will Fuller's missed a lot of time. You're pretty much having a revolving door at their left tackle spot. And it's just, their whole season has just been absolutely derailed by injury. And pretty much their lone bright spot of their team, like this whole season that's been playing well, has been DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is a top 5 receiver in my opinion. The dude, he may not be the most athletic or fast guy on the field, but just the physicality that he plays with is just something that you don't see, and I think he's the most physical receiver in the NFL. Now, as we all know, TJ Yates is going to get his first start this game after Tom Savage had like a little mini seizure last week. So, they're going to be starting TJ Yates. I don't know if it's much of a downgrade or an upgrade just because Tom Savage is terrible. I mean, he's just not good. I mean, in the Bill O'Brien era, he's got to be like the second worst quarterback behind Brock Osweiler. But, he's going to be, TJ Yates is going to get the start. So hopefully our defense can feast on this team because last time we faced the Texans, we got 10 sacks and like multiple turnovers. Granted, I don't think it's going to be like 10 sacks again just because it'd be hard to go on any video and really be able to predict having 10 sacks. But I'm going to hope for 5 to 6 sacks. Hopefully maybe Yannick Ngakoue can pass Calais Campbell and most sacks this season, or Calais Campbell can add to a total. Maybe Dante Fowler can finally get back into the mix. Dante Fowler, he's been kind of quiet lately. You know what I mean? He started off like really hot, but the last like 4 weeks he's been almost kind of forgotten. You know what I mean? He hasn't been really doing much. So hopefully, he can get some action in there and try to build on the sack total. But the most interesting potential matchup this game is going to be DeAndre Hopkins and Jalen Ramsey. Now, the first week 1 when they played, I was really looking forward to this matchup, but they didn't really play against each other. It was more like AJ Boye covering Hopkins. So I just feel like Jalen Ramsey and Hopkins is such a fun matchup, and I hope we get to see some of that matchup this weekend. Now, as good as this game looks on paper for us, we're like 11-point favorites in this game. It's definitely not a team that we can overlook. Divisional games, it seems like they're usually always competitive, unless it's the Jaguars versus Colts, then it's a little different. But I feel like any given week these division rivals will be able to play against each other pretty well. Bill O'Brien, he's a good coach, so the Jaguars, they can't let the Arizona Cardinal thing happen where they overlook these guys. Let's just go in here and win this game and clinch a playoff spot. My dream scenario for this year is for basically the Steelers to beat the Patriots this weekend, Jaguars win out, and then we get the number 2 seed. But one thing that I would think would be so sweet is if the Jaguars can win out and the Titans can keep losing. So once that Week 17 matchup comes up, we're basically already had the division clinched. We're basically playing to clinch that number 2 spot in the NFL. And the Titans, on the other hand, I hope that they'll be playing for a chance to get in the playoffs. It'd be so cool if it was like a Titans, if they win, they're in, if they lose, they're out. So we can go over there and spoil the Titans' playoffs hope for the second year in a row after they lost to 2-12 team last year when they came over and played us. So that's my dream scenario. So hopefully the Jaguars keep winning. Hopefully the Titans can lose to the 49ers this weekend and then the Rams next weekend. So we can go in there and have a pretty fun matchup. Now on the injury front, we are pretty good on injuries. Telvin Smith is out of the concussion protocol, so he'll be back in there. We'll have all our defensive starters again. But the thing is, Leonard Fournette, he is questionable this weekend. Will he play? I don't know. I mean, he popped up with a quad injury. It was a new injury for him on the injury report. It wasn't an ankle or anything. One thing I heard is that it might just be a quad bruise, and then when you get a heavy bruise on the leg, usually your leg will tighten up a little bit. So we'll see if he plays. If he doesn't, then whatever. It's just I'd like him to play just because if you don't play, you potentially risk being out of condition. And I want Leonard Fournette to be able to get the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, it seemed like in the first half of the year, it seemed like Kareem Hunt was going to run away with it, but his production has really fallen off. Then in the second half of the year, Alvin Kamara has really been able to rise up to the opportunity. He's been the second half Offensive Player of the Year. But Leonard Fournette, he's been consistent all year. You know what I mean? He's had multiple 100-yard games, and he's been a real key piece in what keeps our offense moving, and a key piece in what Tom Coughlin, Dave Caldwell, and Doug Marrone have wanted to do, and that's change the identity of the offense and make this a power run game. There's really not many keys to the game to go over just because we're honestly just so much better than the Titans right now. I don't say that with any disrespect. It's just true. You know what I mean? The Texans, they got completely derailed with injuries. Obviously losing Deshaun Watson was huge. Losing a bunch of their key pass rushers was huge. And, that completely derailed this season. So, if Jaguars can go in and play our game and play to the level that we're supposed to, we can go in there and clinch a playoff spot. And that's what I'm really hoping for. So, let's go in there and just do our thing. But that about wraps up my video. Real quick note, if anybody is selling 2 tickets to the game, let me know. Put a comment down below. My brother and I are looking for tickets to this game. So, if you're selling anything, just holler at me and, I'll definitely be down to buy them. But with all that said, that's pretty much all I got. The Jaguars going in here looking to build on their season and get to a 10-4 record and clinch that playoff spot. Last regular season home game until hopefully we host one if we're the AFC South champions. It's all going to start with this game. We got to go in there, take care of business, and win this thing. So, this is UCF Jaguar with GenJag.com, and go Jags.
People aren't used to getting beat like that by the Jaguars. There's no reason to take anything from anybody. We just beat the crap out of you for 60 minutes.